PVC is a specific plastic that doesn't go into our general recycling stream. We have commingled recycling, paper, rigid plastics, etc. PVC is a number 3 plastic, and our general recyclers will not accept it for a variety of reasons. But it is a recyclable plastic. And so, Google is king. And Googling, I came across a colleague, Pierre, back in Australia, anesthesiologist who, over a decade ago, with industry and his hospital, started a medical PVC recycling program. They found a recycler. They educated them, said this is not contaminated stuff for the most part, and it's doable. And it's been running, I think, well over 150, 180 hospitals, I believe, now. So I tried to emulate that. I called the Vinyl Institute, I should say. Vinyl Council is in Australia. So I called them up and I said, hey, do you know any PVC recyclers here in Ontario? They got me in touch with a company in Cambridge, called them up. They said they'd be interested. Spoke to their folks, had them come over, said this is pretty clean stuff. What do you think? And we started there. We did some education, started a pilot in our ORs, and it was received well, did the education. People realized that we're generating waste. And if we can reduce that and divert it, it's amazing. IV bags are ubiquitous in every hospital, and they all go to landfill. And now they can be made into, automotive soundproofing parts or garden hoses. We did expand initially to the post-perioperative wards, like the surgical wards, if you will. Did that. I did the in-servicing myself, did the walkthroughs, figure out where to put the hampers, the signage, and I would do my audits when I was on call, when I'd be on call and doing my rounds, like looking in the bags, all right, what's going on here? And now we've spread to dialysis and some of the other wards. We still haven't expanded center-wide. That is the hope, hopefully in this coming year. We've got various PVC products, some of which do not get captured in the stream, but things that do, as I said, IV bags, oxygen masks. Thing is that they should not be coming from patients who are known isolation patients or some infectious, contagious situation, and they should not be obviously soiled visibly. If they are not, they're capturable, and we'll put them in our hampers. They look like linen hampers, but they've got green decal. It says PVC, there's a sign. Then they'll be taken away. They're in green liners, see-through green liners. They're taken away. There's a bunch of totes at our loading dock for PVC. They're collected there, and I understand currently we have every 2 weeks a pickup. At the present time, it's at no cost to us. So usually when we have things taken away, hospital pays hauling costs, but this is free. And the more we can capture, it's good. Save money, save landfill waste, and give something a second life. It's possible that many aren't aware. Activation energy for any of these things, especially the current climate, people are exhausted. Takes some, but it is a good initiative. There's a lot of logistical snags that one has to deal with. One of the biggest things that we had to deal with was when things are collected, where will they be stored? The loading dock in any hospital is high-priced real estate. Very, very rare commodity. There's so many competing elements, linens, biohazardous waste, general waste. And now you have to find room for enough totes that aren't a fire hazard and the fire marshal's not going to get upset about. Find enough totes to place in the right place where we can collect these. Because this pickup is not every day. It won't make sense for the hauler, otherwise they'll start charging us. There's not enough PVC waste for it to ever make sense for us to be charged. So when we had set up our logistical plan of how best to do this so that it makes sense for everybody, is to have 10 collection totes, the 95-gallon totes in the loading dock. So that collected PVC waste can be put in these. Once 10 are full, it triggers a pickup. Now we've actually, given that there's more hospitals in the city doing this, not just us, we're down to a fewer amount of totes because this truck now can come and go to different sites in the GTA and pick up, so it still makes sense for them financially to send out a truck. But if there's hospitals, say, not within the center core, rural hospitals or other hospitals in the province, they'd have to figure out what logistically makes sense for them and the recycler, how many totes to have before they trigger a pickup. And for some, it may not be a viable solution, sadly. I did in-servicing huddles with nursing staff at various shifts and tried to ensure that we have some champions, even one or two, in each area that this was implemented. So they can continue to, there's new staff coming in, they can continue to make sure that that sort of education is done and do spot audits and things like that. And then I always do spot audits. But ongoing education is important. I cannot personally do multiple in-services all the time. I did them initially when it rolled out, but that's clearly something that needs to be done. Managers, educators on each area need to be involved to continue. Honestly, I think even once a month reminders, because staff are coming. It doesn't take a long time. Literally a few sentences. Hey guys, there's huddles all the time. And once a month, this is the hamper, this is what we're doing. Please remember to put the right thing in the right spot. And if there's new staff, they can ask the more senior staff and just keep going. So in terms of good hard measures like our QI folks do, I can't say that I've been doing that. We just get information from the recycler, year basis, how much did we divert? But in terms of having a sense of whether they're between point of use and pickup, is there some sort of loss of collected items going on, and that sadly requires a certain amount of manpower and resources, which we don't have. But it'd be nice to be able to get a sense of that. But between education and pickup stats, that's all we have. So the most important factor, it's so multi-level, right? My own personal experience, it'd be amazing if any institution has it as part of their mandate, that sustainability is not a nice to have afterthought. It is part of our regular business. And so then that trickles down from top down at every administrative level, right down to the front line. And that commitment by the institution. It'd be nice if the province could have certain legislation that mandates it. Accreditation, for example, could have sustainability within its thing. Accreditation is a huge thing for every institution. And we all know how much the institutions work as accreditation's approaching to get that standing. And if sustainability is embedded there, it's embedded in some form of legislation or guidance from the province, and it's embedded within the institution's mandate. That'll be very, very helpful to advance any passion projects that people might have at the grassroots level.